Hi, this is an instructional video on how to swap out your batteries for your Autoslide push buttons, like one here. So, in order to swap out your batteries, all you need to do is take your push button off the wall and open up the casing, and I'll show you how to do that over here. So, all you need to open up your push buttons is a flathead or a Phillips screwdriver, pretty much any screwdriver that'll fit for the small screw that is located at the bottom. There it is at the bottom of this hole right here. So when you're trying to unscrew it, you need to use your thumb, and right below where the screw threads into it, there's a nut that you need to hold the nut down and simultaneously unscrew it so that it may come out. So I'm going to do that right now. So I'm going to put my thumb on top of the little screw, and then I'm going to put the screwdriver into the hole and start unscrewing. And always do this when opening your push buttons. Open it from the top, so the portion where you click the button and where this LED light is. Always open this portion from the top. It's going to fold open, and then you can take the casing off. And before I show you, how to swap out the batteries, I'm going to show you the two different kinds of push buttons we have. So this is the first type of push button. This is the Elite push button, and what this one does is it has capabilities of working the regular, standard, and locking units, and also, unlike the other one we have, this one also handles the Elite units and Elite locking units. So if you have an Elite locking unit and you realize that your push button does not look like this one, then you have the wrong push button. So do note the features of it. So the battery casings have a cover, a metal cover, and small black plastic fingernail grips so that you can take out the batteries. So I'm going to show you how to take out the batteries now. So simply grab a small screwdriver and pry it off of the plastic nubs that hold the push button in place. That's one side. That's another side. And so now you have your Autoslide push button motherboard for it. Do not confuse this with the motherboard that's located inside of your Autoslide unit. They're two completely different things. So I'm going to show you how to take the batteries out, and I'll also tell you which batteries they are in the event your push button dies. So simply to remove the push button battery, grab the black plastic shelf using your fingernail and just simply pull it out. And then each of these small black shelves has two CR 2016 batteries. I'll hold that up to the camera for you so that you may see. So CR 2016 batteries. They take 2 per slot, so each push button requires 4 of these CR 2016 batteries in order to operate. So let's assume that these are your new batteries that you are using to swap out your dead batteries. Just simply place the batteries back into the shelf, slide it back into the motherboard, and then match the hole that is on the motherboard with the hole that is on the plastic casing. You do not want to place it the other way, otherwise your push button will not click. So we're going to attach it back in. And now that we have our motherboard back inside of our push button, we're going to put the casing back on. So, like so. There's a plastic groove here that attaches to this plastic peg, or interlocks with this plastic peg. Please be sure to connect it to the appropriate side. And then simply place your fingernail back onto the nut and tighten the screw. And so that is how you swap out your batteries for your push buttons. Now I'm going to show you the other type of push button we have. This is the standard push button. It looks exactly the same as the Elite push button, but I'll show you the difference once we get inside, because that's where the difference is. So it's the process of opening is the exact same way as the Elite one. So thumbnail on the nut, and then unscrew, slide open the casing, and once again, open with the casing facing the ceiling. Do not open as so, because with the standard push buttons, the springs that we use for the button are not attached to the plastic, unlike the Elite one. So if you try not to lose your springs. So now that we have our push button open, I'm going to do the same thing in terms of battery replacement, which is just pry the casing out using your screwdriver. And then to replace the batteries on this one, it's just a simple pulling the batteries out of their case. So, and yes, the battery type is also CR2016, just like the other one. So, let's assume you have your new batteries. Just simply slide them back in. And and if you see this plastic slip that's between the battery and this metal clip that holds the battery, then that just means, and you're realizing that your push button isn't working, just pull that slip off and your push button will start working. We include that so that your push button won't waste power as it's being shipped to you or in the production line. So we're going to put the push button back in the casing like what we did with the Elite one. Make sure the hole that is over here on the push button is aligned with the casing. Snap it back in as so, and place the springs back in if they have popped out. Then get the casing and stick it back on just like I showed you earlier. Then tighten it. And that's how you swap out your batteries for your Autoslide push buttons.